Subsets of real numbers. The objective of this video is to describe the subsets of real numbers using set builder and interval notation. So first we want to actually recall the subsets of real numbers. So we have the entire real number system, but that's made up of different categories, and we have certain notations that we're going to use to represent these words. So the real numbers is denoted by this weird R. And then we have subcategories. So we have rationals, which is basically like fractions, and that's denoted with the Q. Irrationals are basically everything that has a repeating decimal. So like the square root of 3, pi is an irrational number, and we use a weird I for that one. Integers are just basically all my positive and negative whole numbers. Whole numbers is basically the numbers, the counting numbers starting including 0, and then the natural numbers is just basically what we teach in preschool, starting from 1 going up to infinity. So there are two different notations that we can use to represent describe what's happening. One of them is using a set builder notation, and in order to use this specific notation, you need to kind of include the subset of the real number system. So set builder notation will have something that looks similar to my math sentence on the bottom, and it's basically a squiggly, like a bracket, and it's read the set of numbers x. This little line represents such that, and then there's whatever constraints are on that number. It might be an inequality. It might say that x cannot equal a certain number. So whatever pertains to the set you're talking about will go in that section. And then after the comma, we're going to include what element of the real number system. So in this case, we would say x, given that is a set of z is integers, so x is an element of the integers. Now, set builder notation is a little tricky at first, so we kind of just have to figure out what it actually means. So first things first, we're going to have a squiggly bracket to open up our sentence. And we are talking about some x. Now, in my set here, I have starting at 8, and then we're counting up to basically infinity, because that's what the 3 dots mean. So I'm going to have this little line that reads such that. Now, it's basically x is any number that is bigger or equal to 8. So x is greater than or equal to 8, such that x is a part of what subset of my numbers? Well, it looks like it's my whole numbers, because we're just including our counting numbers. There are no negatives, there are no rationals, there are no irrationals. So I'm going to use the little squiggly W to represent my whole numbers, close my bracket. So in this other example, we have x is less than or equal to 7. So we're basically talking about the real numbers. If we're not specifically given any indication about whatever set we're talking about, we are going to assume that we are talking about the real numbers. So open up my bracket, x such that x is less than 7, parentheses. Now we're going to include the set. X is an element of the real number system. So this is like a mathematical sentence that doesn't really include words. So it's a way of communicating with other math people. So next we're going to do multiples of 3. So in order to get multiples of 3, we're basically multiplying some number by 3. So if we're multiplying some number by 3, I'm just going to put 3n there to say, hey, this is multiples of 3, as a note to self. So I'm going to open up my bracket, x such that x is going to equal, well, multiples of 3 is 3n. And then we are talking about basically my integers. Oops. So I'm going to say x is an element of my integers. Close. So now I suggest you pause this video, try and do the remaining 3 problems, then press play to see if your answer is correct. Pause your video now. For number 4, it looks like we're starting with the number 1. So these are my counting numbers. So I am in the set of my natural numbers. And then it looks like x is going to be greater than 1. So I am going to open up my brackets, x such that x is greater or equal to 1, where x is an element of my natural numbers. Close bracket. For my next problem, open up bracket. Does not look like we are told what subset, so I'm just going to assume the real numbers. So x such that x is less than -3, where x is an element of the real numbers. And for the last one, multiples of pi, that means we're basically multiplying by pi all the time. So I'm going to put pi n, or n times pi. And then because pi is my multiple, I'm going to have this in my x such that x is equal to pi n, where x is an element of irrational numbers because pi is irrational. Close. So another way to kind of denote what is happening is interval notation. So we're basically using inequalities in this case, and we can use an interval notation. We have bounded and unbounded intervals. Bounded means that we actually have a number that we are stopping at. And unbounded means we are going on from either negative infinity to a number or from a number to positive infinity. And we use a little squiggly symbol of a sideways 8 to denote infinity. And if it's a negative infinity, we would include a negative to the left of the symbol. Another thing to note is if we have an inequality and we are including the number saying it's less than or equal to, then we are going to use a bracket. But if it's less than, not including the equal part, then we're going to use a parentheses. So for my first one in my inequality, it is bounded because I am starting and stopping at a number. So we have -8 and 16. -8 is not included because it's just less than, not equal to, so I'm going to use a parentheses. 16 is less than or equal to 16, so I'm going to use a bracket. For x is less than 11, I am stopping at 11, but x can be anything less than 11, so I have infinite choices, so infinite, so negative infinity. Because infinity is not bounded, we're going on forever, we're going to use a parentheses, and then we're going to use a parentheses for 11 because it just says x is less than 11. Here for C, we have two different ones. So we have x is less than or equal to -16. So for the first one, we are going to say can go to negative infinity, negative 16, but we're going to use a bracket because it's included. And then we're going to use this symbol like a U that reads union so that we can do the second one. So x is greater than 5. So 5 is not included, but it can go on to infinity. So I would read that U as a union. Pause your video, try and do those 3 problems, and then press play to see if your answer is correct. Pause your video now. So again, you want to have a bounded, so we are including the negative 4. Negative 1 is not included. For a is greater than negative 3, negative 3, comma, infinity, because we can have any number. Negative 3 is included. Infinity is just a parentheses. X is greater than 9 and x is less than negative 2. So negative 2, so negative infinity, comma, negative 2, close, union, then I'm going to open 9 to infinity. Notice how I switched these two because I like to go from smallest to largest, and that's common notation. Because negative infinity is the lowest bound, that comes up on my left, and positive infinity is my highest bound going up to my right.